Congressman, real quick, how do House Republicans make the case that you're fighting for affordability when you go back to your districts?
Affordability? What are you talking about?
Well, affordability is the big...
I'm going to go there tomorrow. Over the 4th. I'm going to get me a couple of lobster tails. I'm going to get me some nice ribeyes. I'm going to sit in my backyard with my family, my neighbors. And we're going to be enjoying the 4th, celebrating 250 years, the birthday. We're going to be celebrating the greatest president in my lifetime, Donald J. Trump. Maybe watch some fireworks. Won't be up here. It's going to be too hot, right? And I'm in bed at 11 o'clock. I heard the fireworks ain't going off till 11 o'clock Eastern on the 4th of July. I probably have to sleep through that one. But listen, everybody understands you're going to see a little increase in energy prices because of Iran. I mean, come on. People aren't stupid. You realize that when you have a conflict Iran. But I think in the end, this short-term increase in some of the costs of energy, gasoline and stuff.
Play that back in your head because he said it out loud on camera with a smile. A reporter asked the Congressman Troy Nehls of Texas a simple question. How do Republicans say that they're fighting for affordability when people are struggling? And instead of answering, he started talking about the big lobster tails, ribeyes, and he's going to grill this weekend. So the reporter pushed back. You think that 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck can afford lobster and ribeye? And here's what a sitting U.S. Congressman said back. Maybe not. Maybe the 60% of Americans don't work as hard as I do either. Maybe you're just not working hard enough. That's the message from a man who makes $174,000 a year off of our tax money to the people struggling to fill their gas tank. I'm Jared. This is The View from here. And today we're going to talk about who this economy actually works for because the clip is not a gaffe, it's a window. First, let's shut the door on the idea that people just aren't working hard enough because the numbers are not subtle. Inflation is running at 4.2%. The highest in years. The prices are still climbing on top of everything they already climbed. Gas spiked past $4.50 a gallon this spring, still over $4, more than $1 higher than it was last year at this time. And this next number is the one that gets me. Consumer settlement, how Americans feel about the economy, hits the lowest point ever recorded this spring. Even the survey goes back all the way to 1952. They feel worse about the economy right now than after the 2008 financial crisis, after 9/11, and after the pandemic. Americans are feeling the pressure, and we have a congressman saying that they should just work harder. This is a message that seems to be passed on both sides. The Americans need to work harder. These same people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, plus any of the extra side money that we see. People are retiring from Congress being worth $100 million. How is this possible? They just say, you need to work harder. That's on you. It's a cruel lie. And it's one that the American populace is starting to get sick of hearing. This cannot be an answer to a question about how Americans can feel about affordability and what they're feeling. If you're tired of being told the struggle is your fault by people that never had to check a price tag, this is the channel for you. We follow the facts, we follow the money, no spin, no jersey. Subscribe. This is a brand new channel, and you'll be one of the first here. Now look at where the money actually went. Same week that Congress told you to work harder, another number came out, and you should hold two of them right next to each other. The president's annual financial disclosure dropped. It shows in his first year back in office, Donald Trump took in around $1.2 billion. Billion. From the cryptocurrency ventures. $635 million from a meme coin stamped with his own name. Launched 3 days before he took the oath. Hundreds of millions more from his family crypto firm. This is something we are seeing on both sides. We go back and forth when you have to disclose your information and your financial records when you're part of the government. This is just, it's a good rule, but you're seeing this on both sides. I know people get upset. We could use names like Elon Omar, Nancy Pelosi, Donald Trump. He's the target now because he's the president. How do you have this much money off of cryptocurrency? Where's that money coming from? Who's putting that money into these accounts? I want to be careful and fair here. The White House says there's no conflict of interest. They point to nearly 1,000-page disclosure as proof of transparency. Fine. But let's look at the sequence. Trump takes office. His administration rolls back the federal crackdown on crypto, loosens the rules for the entire industry, and then he personally makes over $1 billion from this. The AP reported that ordinary people who bought his coin mostly got hammered. The coins lost value. Everyday buyers took losses while he locked in profits. A historian at Rice put it plainly. He said there was no precedent for this. No president in the 21st century has anything vaguely comparable. I think this is a problem across the board with our government. Look how much money is in politics. Look what we just rolled back with the Supreme Court. More money is going to be in there. This is legal bribery. People are using their position of power to gain financially while stealing from the American people. We are paying for their jobs. We are paying for their income, and it still is not enough. And this person is going to talk about we're not working hard enough. That's the message. So my family, I come from a steel working family. My dad worked in the mills. My grandfather worked in the mills. My brother works in the mills. It is currently 95 degrees where I live, and they are working outside at a steel mill. Do these people not work hard enough? Is that the people he's talking to? The day in, day out person that goes to work isn't working hard enough, away from their families, not having breaks when you're on the Capitol? I don't know how this is going to end. So to put the week together, a congressman tells a guy struggling to pump that he doesn't work hard enough, and the president clears $1 billion from an industry his own government deregulated. Who's working hard here? There's also a third piece that, in my mind, pulls this all together. During the same stretch, the administration threw a giant celebration on the National Mall, the Great American State Fair, kicking off the country's 250th birthday. Incredible, right? All about it. Big spectacle. And it's oddly empty. Sparse crowds, states that declined to show up, musical acts that pulled out because supposedly a unifying national birthday had been turned into a political rally. I'm not going to tell people to stay at home because they couldn't afford it. It's free. It's on the mall. That's not the story. The story is the feeling of it. One woman did go to a reporter, and this stuck with me. Half the country is divided from the other half. I wish they created a USA 250 for all the other people. I'm tired of politics. I believe this is probably how most people feel in our modern world. They are sick of the teams. They are sick of the back and forth. They are sick of sending people to do a job on our behalf, and nothing changes. In fact, it's getting worse. People that get elected to these positions need to be helping the people that elected them and the country as a whole. We need to work together. We need to bring people together. I don't know if we need to start voting together on these things using our cell phones. What ideas? What direction do we want the country in? Because right now, the amount of money that is just being siphoned to the wealthy, that the rich people in government are getting richer, and the average everyday person is getting more and more poor. And even if they're not getting more poor, if they seem the money goes up, they're making more money. Inflation is not keeping up with our paychecks. It's just the way it is. Everybody's feeling it. I spent my life playing wheelchair basketball. I have never been a person that made a lot of money. And to think I could come back with money saved up, with doing my best that I could with my life situation, and still we're in a situation that you can't afford to go get groceries. Everything costs more. Every time I go to get gas, it terrifies me. I think of how much is this going to cost me. That's it. That's the mood. The people in charge are throwing a party for themselves, cashing in, and telling you that if you're struggling, it's because you are lazy. Why a real birthday, one that could actually bring people together, sits half empty because they couldn't help but making it about them. We are sitting there trying to find a way of celebrating this, celebrating an incredible achievement. Our country has been around and doing great things for the world for 250 years. And we are now at the point where the left and the right can no longer talk to each other. And it seems to be, with this division, the rich keep getting richer. And I personally don't know what to do about that. I don't know what to say about that. It comes off as unfair. And you only can push people so far before something happens and there's a pushback. Step by step, I'm not sure what the next stage is to do, but I know having answers like this, and we see them all the time, all over the internet. Whether you're watching somebody in Congress run away from a question, or you have them actually answer the question without somebody helping them, without whether it's a teleprompter, whether it's all written out, they know the answers to the questions ahead of time. When you give them a chance to say who they are, this is what we see. And if people show you who they are, believe them. So let's get back to the congressman and his lobster tails. The point was never that a politician shouldn't enjoy a nice steak on the 4th. Enjoy the holiday. It's an incredible day. The point is the contempt. The casual smiling contempt for people he was elected to serve. Maybe you just don't work hard enough. No. The people cleaning offices at night work hard. The nurses on double shifts work hard. The guy driving for 3 apps to cover his rent works hard. This country is full of people breaking their bodies to afford to live, to afford their families to live. And we have the people that we put in positions of power telling us to work harder. It doesn't sit right with me, and it shouldn't sit right with you either. The economy is working just as it is designed. It is just not working for us. And we see it as a broken system. It's not a broken system. It's a perfectly running system. I don't have a tidy fix to hand you tonight, but it starts refusing to accept the story they're selling. That your struggle is your fault and your fault alone. It isn't. People are working their asses off and they're getting nowhere and they're starting to feel the pressure. The first step to change anything is to see it clearly, take a step back, and see how I can help the masses. This is not the situation we're in. So the next time someone with a government paycheck and a crypto fortune tells you to work harder, remember the lobster tails and remember who's actually doing the work. I'm Jared. This is A View from Here. See you on the next one.